Over the past 50 years, I've learned that the most valuable investment you can ever make is in yourself. Life is full of distractions. People's opinions, fleeting trends, the noise of the world pulling you in every direction. But the truth is, if you don't focus on your own growth, you'll end up chasing shadows. Let me share a few lessons that have helped me stay centered on my personal journey. First, guard your time fiercely. Time is the one resource you can never get back. Think of it as a precious coin. Spend it wisely. Each day, ask yourself, what actions today will make me a little better than yesterday? For me, it's been about setting aside time for reading, reflecting, and learning something new. Even 20 minutes a day adds up over the years. Second, be selective about who you listen to. Early in life, I cared too much about what others thought. But here's the hard truth. Most people are too busy with their own lives to truly understand yours. Seek advice from those who inspire you, not those who criticize without understanding your goals. Third, compare yourself only to who you were yesterday. I used to measure my progress by looking at others, what they achieved, how far ahead they seemed. But one day, I realized this was draining me. The only person you should ever compete with is yourself. Small improvements, even tiny ones, lead to massive growth over time. Another thing I've learned is the importance of saying no. When you say yes to everything, you're saying no to yourself. Focus on what aligns with your goals and values. Every time you say no to a distraction, you're saying yes to your growth. And here's something that took me decades to fully embrace. Self-growth isn't selfish. It's necessary. You can't pour into others if your own cup is empty. When you take time to nurture your mind, body, and spirit, you become a better parent, friend, partner, and leader. One of the most transformative practices I've adopted is daily reflection. Each night, I ask myself, what did I learn today? Where did I grow? What can I do better tomorrow? This habit has been like a compass, keeping me on track even during life's most chaotic times. Finally, remember this: growth is a journey, not a race. There's no finish line to becoming the best version of yourself. Some days you'll feel like you're making giant leaps. Other days, it'll feel like you're barely moving. Both are okay. The important thing is to keep going. So, my friend, focus on your own path. Water your own garden. Build habits that feed your growth and protect your peace. With time and consistency, you'll look back and see just how far you've come. Here's to your journey. As I sit here reflecting on these lessons, there's one more truth that stands out. Self-growth isn't always glamorous. It's not about grand moments of transformation. Most of the time, it's in the quiet, everyday choices you make, the ones no one sees but you. Let me tell you about a practice that's changed my life: embracing discomfort. Growth doesn't happen when you're comfortable. It happens when you push yourself into the unknown, when you tackle challenges that scare you or seem too big. Over the years, I've learned to see discomfort not as something to avoid, but as a signal that I'm stepping into new territory. For example, there was a time when I avoided public speaking like the plague. The thought of standing in front of a crowd made my palms sweat. But I knew that if I wanted to grow, I had to face it. So I started small, speaking up in meetings, giving a toast at family dinners. Eventually, the fear faded, and I realized I was capable of much more than I thought. Another lesson I've carried with me is the power of focusing on progress, not perfection. For years, I held myself to impossible standards, thinking that anything less than perfect wasn't good enough. But that mindset only led to frustration. Now, I celebrate small wins. Reading one more page, learning one new skill, taking one more step forward. Those little victories add up to big changes over time. I've also learned to embrace failure as a teacher. Early on, I saw failure as something to fear, something that marked me as less capable. But failure has been one of my greatest teachers. Each time I've stumbled, I've gained a deeper understanding of myself and the world around me. Failure isn't the opposite of growth. It's part of it. One thing I can't emphasize enough is the importance of building routines that nourish you. Over the years, I've developed morning and evening rituals that ground me. My mornings begin with quiet reflection, sometimes journaling, sometimes just sitting in stillness. My evenings end with gratitude, taking a moment to acknowledge the good in the day, no matter how small. These routines act as anchors, keeping me steady even when life feels chaotic. And here's a simple truth that took me decades to grasp. You don't have to have it all figured out. Growth isn't about having all the answers. It's about asking the right questions and staying curious. Life is an unfolding journey, and it's okay to not know exactly where you're headed. What matters is that you keep moving forward, one step at a time. Lastly, I want to remind you of the value of celebrating your journey. Too often, we're so focused on what's next that we forget to appreciate how far we've come. Take time to look back, to see the growth in yourself, and to honor the work you've put in. You've earned it. As you continue to focus on your self-growth, I hope you carry these lessons with you. Life will challenge you, no doubt, but it will also reward you for the effort you put into becoming the best version of yourself. Remember, this journey is yours, and every step you take is shaping a stronger, wiser, and more fulfilled you. Here's to the lifelong adventure of growth. As I continue this reflection, one more realization comes to mind. Growth is deeply personal. No two journeys look the same, and that's exactly how it should be. What works for one person might not work for another. The key is to find what resonates with you and commit to it wholeheartedly. Over the years, I've found immense value in creating what I call a personal growth compass. It's a simple guide that keeps me aligned with my goals and values. Here's how it works. Define your core values. What truly matters to you? Is it honesty, kindness, courage, or perseverance? Knowing your values acts as a foundation for your growth. Whenever you're faced with a tough decision, you can ask yourself, does this align with who I want to be? Set intentional goals. These aren't about what society expects from you. They're about what excites and challenges you. Whether it's learning a new skill, improving a relationship, or developing inner peace, choose goals that feel meaningful to your life. Track your progress. Growth is easy to overlook because it happens gradually. That's why I've made it a habit to track small wins. Whether it's writing down 3 things I achieved today or reflecting on how I handled a tough situation better than before, these moments remind me that I'm moving forward. Another thing I've learned is the importance of protecting your energy. There's a lot in the world that can drain you. Negative people, endless scrolling on social media, unnecessary arguments. Over the years, I've become selective about where I place my energy. If it doesn't help me grow or bring peace into my life, I let it go. And speaking of letting go, here's a truth that has been a game changer. You don't have to carry everything. For years, I held on to regrets, grudges, and worries, thinking they were mine to bear. But I've realized that growth also means knowing when to release what no longer serves you. Forgive others, forgive yourself, and make space for the new. Now, let's talk about curiosity. This might sound simple, but it's one of the most powerful tools for growth. Stay curious about the world, about others, and about yourself. Ask questions. Try new things. Read books outside your usual interests. Growth thrives in curiosity. It's what keeps you open to learning and evolving. Here's a little practice I found incredibly grounding. Visualizing your future self. Take a moment to imagine the person you want to become. What does that version of you look like? How do they think, act, and approach life? Use this vision as a guide when you're making choices. Each decision you make can be a step toward becoming that person. Finally, remember to celebrate the present. Yes, growth is about looking ahead and improving, but it's also about appreciating where you are right now. This moment, right here, right now, is a part of your journey and it's worth cherishing. As I write this, I feel a deep sense of gratitude for the path I've walked and the lessons I've learned. And I'm equally grateful for the opportunity to share them with you. Life is a beautiful, unpredictable journey, And every step you take toward your growth makes it even more meaningful. Keep going, my friend. Stay curious, stay kind, and trust that every effort you make is shaping a brighter, stronger future for yourself. With all my encouragement, one of the most profound lessons I've learned in these 50 years is that self-growth isn't just about doing. It's also about being. Sometimes, we get so focused on progress and goals that we forget the importance of simply being present. I want to share a few insights on how embracing stillness and presence can be a powerful tool for your personal growth. Start by practicing intentional silence. Life is noisy, and the constant hum of activity can drown out your own inner voice. I've found that setting aside even 10 minutes a day to sit quietly, no phone, no distractions, can create space for clarity. In those moments, I often ask myself, what truly matters right now? The answers are rarely complicated, but they're always honest. Be kind to yourself in the process. Over the years, I've seen how easy it is to fall into the trap of self-criticism. When you're striving for growth, it's natural to focus on what's not perfect yet. But growth thrives on encouragement, not judgment. Speak to yourself as you would a dear friend, with patience, understanding, and a belief in your ability to improve. Another powerful practice I've embraced is learning to say, I don't know. It's liberating to admit when you don't have all the answers. In fact, not knowing is the starting point of discovery. When you let go of the need to appear certain, you open yourself to new perspectives, deeper insights, and unexpected growth. Let me also share something that might surprise you. Rest is a crucial part of growth. For a long time, I equated hard work with progress. But life has taught me that growth isn't sustainable without rest. Taking time to recharge, whether through sleep, meditation, or simply enjoying a quiet walk, gives your mind and body the energy to keep moving forward. And while we're on the subject of balance, here's another key insight. Growth is not a straight line. It's a winding path, full of twists, turns, and even backtracks. There have been moments in my life when I felt stuck or even lost, only to realize later that those pauses were necessary for me to recalibrate and find a better way forward. Finally, I want to remind you of the incredible strength of gratitude. No matter where you are in your journey, there's always something to be thankful for. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what you have, creating a sense of abundance and possibility. It's a simple practice, but its impact is profound. So, my friend, as you continue on this path of self-growth, remember that it's not about perfection or speed. It's about consistency, self-awareness, and the courage to keep moving forward, even when the road feels uncertain. Take it one day at a time. Celebrate the small wins. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be right now, and that every step you take is leading you to something greater. With all my faith in your journey, as I reflect further, another insight comes to mind. Self-growth isn't about reaching a destination. It's about evolving into someone you can respect and admire. Over the years, I've realized that the greatest reward of this journey isn't external success. It's the sense of inner peace that comes from knowing you're living in alignment with your values. Embrace the power of self-discipline. For many, discipline sounds rigid or harsh, but I've come to see it as an act of self-love. When you set boundaries for yourself, you create the structure needed to thrive. For instance, limiting distractions like mindless scrolling or unhealthy habits isn't about denying yourself. It's about making space for what truly matters. Discipline is freedom disguised as effort. Learn to welcome solitude. In today's world, being alone is often seen as something to avoid, but solitude has been one of my greatest teachers. It's in those quiet moments that I found clarity, heard my own thoughts clearly, and uncovered truths I might have missed in the noise. Don't fear being alone. Instead, see it as an opportunity to reconnect with yourself. Another lesson that came to me later in life is practicing the art of unlearning. Growth isn't just about adding new skills or knowledge. It's also about letting go of old beliefs that no longer serve you. Some of the hardest but most rewarding work I've done has been challenging my own assumptions about success, happiness, and even myself. Give yourself permission to grow at your own pace. There's no race in life. I spent years comparing my journey to others, wondering if I was falling behind. But looking back now, I see that every moment, both the fast strides and the slow steps, had its purpose. Growth is personal. Let it unfold in its own time. Stay open to change. Life is unpredictable, and the ability to adapt is one of the greatest strengths you can cultivate. There were moments when the plans I clung to fell apart, leaving me feeling lost. But each of those moments pushed me towards something better, something I couldn't have imagined alone. Change isn't the enemy. It's often the doorway to growth. Lastly, I want to leave you with this thought. Self-growth is about becoming a person who can handle life with grace. It's not about controlling everything around you, but about building the inner strength to face whatever comes your way. Whether it's joy or hardship, success or failure, you'll find peace in knowing that you're resilient enough to handle it all. So, as you move forward, remember that every step you take, no matter how small, is a step toward a richer, fuller life. Trust the process, honor your progress, and never stop believing in the power of your own growth. With enduring encouragement. If you were able to watch this far, then it shows you on your way to being the perfect version of yourself at the end of this year 2025. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe.